on, and this is how it's coming. And it's coming straight like some nigga shit. So, I say, you sisters, are you down? And they said they were down. Oshun, Oya, and Yemenia. So, I'm in Texas, in Houston, doing a lecture. And Oshun comes to the hotel room and say, build me an altar. So I build Oshun the greatest, I got pictures of it. The greatest altar known to man. It took up one whole side of the damn house. Remember I was here the last time and I had all those Oshun stuff? And it took off one side of the damn house. She even made like she was Ishtah. But then again, Ishtah is a composite figure of all goddesses. So there's some stuff up in there, because what we're still talking about here is, we're still talking family. So I ain't playing hating on, I'm just telling you how the damn war go on. So I do this thing here, man, and I come obsessed with this shit, man, and I come obsessed with this thing, man, and at night and day, I'm putting stuff on the altar, and the altar gets bigger and bigger, till it take up one whole side of the living room. Okay. I should have known something when I went to go steal this damn book. Now, I had a system of thieving, robbery, and theft that has worked for me since 1995. I should have known something when I went to steal the book, and this motherfucker tried to jam me up. Because this book had a sensor on it. So I take it in the little music room that's got a sensor, and if it beeps, I know the sensor's on there. I always cover my ass. So I take it in the music room and the shit don't beep. I mean, you know, I go out the goddamn door and the bitch beep. Meanwhile, the other spirits, teaching all them or whatever, they had to come in and lower the sound and nobody hear the shit. But I heard it, and I'm going down the goddamn street doing a motherfucking Honda. Like, what the fuck going on? Get the hell up out of here. Next thing I know, I see the bus come. You know, I'm on foot. Alright. I get home and stuff, so the series of shit start fucking up. Then I knew something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. My landlord come to my damn house. And I got the keys from that nigga in 99, and I never saw him again, as long as I paid him his money. And he came up to my doggone house for the first time ever, and there was a whole lot of stuff going on, and it was all this messed up stuff going down. And I said, oh man, something's going on here. I called Kimberly up. I said, Kimberly, the landlord that came to my house. My sewage is back, and it's almost like somebody's trying to get me up out of here. Because if they can somehow destabilize my ass, and I'm homeless, I won't be thinking about this spirit stuff. Or laying on somebody's floor. They can cut my shit in half. Because I ain't gonna work now, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Because that degree shit, my stuff is defunct. You know what I'm saying? I was trained in commercial art and graphic layout and design, and I was trained how to lay it out by hand. They're doing that by computer now. So I got a whole, my education degree shit, that shit is obsolete. We didn't know you could pay all that money for college and that shit. Why they say you gotta get certified every fucking 4 months. Gotta get certified. Because that shit ain't worth nothing. So the only thing I can do is dump some damn some shit in some church's chicken grease or some shit, or some Kentucky Fried Chicken, or throw some mayonnaise on some buns or some shit right now. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can do. My little shit is obsolete, the little grease shit. I was art major. You do the math. You know, I ain't no rocket science shit. But you know what I'm saying? You know, I could be screwing some caps on some mayonnaise jars or some shit like that. You know, so but damn that, you know, I'm gonna lay on somebody's floor if they kick me out of the house. Just so I won't work. I swear to God. You know what I'm saying? Build a little hut in the forest and be like that goddamn nigga from North Carolina, that Eric Rudolph. Have me a tent. Anyway, the house messing up, all this stuff. I called Kimberly up. I said, Kimberly, what's going on here? Kimberly's like, I said, man, what's going on? I got this elaborate office and all this kind of thing. She the goddess. I said, well, this motherfucker can't hook me up. And so the Apollo spirit was like, tell her to turn her back from the altar and help you. Help you. And I'm like, oh, shoot, why the fuck you don't want to help me? I built the altar and stuff. What the fuck going on here? I'm broke as shit. My lecture's drying up. It's got worse. It's always bad, but now it's worse. So she said, I want to see your ass sweat. And I'm like, Kimberly, why that damn woman say she want to see me sweat? What the hell up with her? Why she want to see me sweat? I want to see you sweat. What the fuck is going on? So one of those ones, San Simone of the policy, tear that damn altar down. She said, I don't give a fuck. I go someplace, I don't give a shit. What the hell is going on here? She said, I don't give a shit. So the Labrador came, and she said, okay, I'll do it. I'm like, well, damn, why she gonna do it? Then she said, more primordial. So we hung up the phone, and I thought, I said, damn. So I called Kay out in California. I said, Kay, I said, remember when the gods came, and the Ogun and all them were saying it, and Legbar and them were saying that they was against me, and I asked the sisters, were they all right? They said they loved me. I said, remember right after they said they loved me, you told me to be on the lookout for a lady in yellow that was coming to destroy you. Now, she said, yeah. I said, well, I was thinking that the lady in yellow that was coming to destroy me was a human woman. And I didn't know it was, what's the name? She said, well, they know that they could get to you because they know that that's your thing, the feminine energy in the woman. They know you love the woman so much, you gonna trust everything. You gonna trust all the women and stuff like that, so they knew they could get to you. And I'm like, well, damn, she just lied, said, she was with me and all this kind of thing here. And I said, so was the lady in yellow, Oshun? And the sister Kay said, she's standing right here right now laughing at. I'm looking at her standing here laughing and dancing. And she said, you got to take the altar, pile it all up, take it out the back door, because you invited her in. I said, she told me in Houston that she wanted to come. And invited her in and dump it in the doggone trash can out front. Everything. And all right. And then she said, you got to take something hot and red and put it in the back door. You in the spirit world and put it in the back door. Now, I'm not trying to tell y'all don't need to do nothing with Oshun. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to say he is that she tried to goddamn play both sides to the middle and cut a nigga balls off. You see what I'm saying? And it was really, I felt disenfranchised, man. I was like, this is a damn shame. And so what she was doing was, she was acting under the behest of Legbar and them, and they knew that I could do the lady thing, and she was going to try to mess me up. And when I took that altar down, I saw the house, and the house was sick. Literally. When people would step in the house, the energy would be so beautiful. People would go, oh my God, it's so beautiful up in here. And although she had that facade going, she was steady tearing down the house and tearing up shit. She was doing her work while she had her radiance and essence all over the crib. And when I took it out, the next day the house looked like it was sick. I was like, God. It was just, the house was in bad condition. And she was literally tearing it down. So, I'm not saying this to tell you that you don't need to deal with the stuff on that level. I'm just trying to say here's this here. Some of the gods love you until you decide that you want to get to the next level. And then they will bless you with all the stuff in human endeavors. But when you say you're trying to rise up to take your place, the throne that is for you, then they got problems with that. But it's a minute fight, and really down to the point right now that they can't really do anything. It's really minor. I mean, sending the landlord to the house and stuff like that and all, and different things like that was just minor shit. So we're really not talking about anything on that particular level. But I'm just trying to say here is there was this particular war in heaven. But the key here is now we have these new entities that we can call upon. You see what I'm saying? That we can call upon, you see, to help us out. So that's when they say they needed the actual new pantheon to get things going. Okay now, let's go right on, because we got a lot to cover. What's that?
I want to take a break in about 15-20
About 15-20 minutes, we'll take a break, which is cool. And we got a lot to cover. We got to end up last night's lecture, plus go into today. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, a couple of things here. Now this is interesting here because In Budge's book, I told him about that. Budge's, one of the best books of Budge's is the Osiris Resurrection. A lot of people don't use Budge, but that's a hell of a book. Budge, the Osiris Resurrection. Here in Budge's book, Osiris Resurrection, get both volumes, page 55 and 58, they talk about Osiris Seker. Osiris Seker. Now, in the book, The Sirius Mystery, Robert Temple, in the chapter, The Rising of the Serpent's Tooth, he talk about the Hemmitt period. He said in the Hemmitt period, based on the Dogon and the Dogon's Hemmitt, the Dogon's Sigi and the Egyptians Hemmitt. And he said that every Dogon 60 years, they worship the return of Nomo or something. But every 100 and Egyptians 120 years, they worship the birthday of Osiris. Something like that. And he goes in and says this Hemmitt period of this Sigi period, one Hemmitt period represents two Dogon Sigi periods. And he goes on to say in the chapter, The Rising of the Serpent's Tooth, it's the chapter, The Rising of the Serpent's Tooth, he goes on to say when the Hemmitt period comes, then arises the Memphis death god in his death boat, Seker. In the Egyptian, Osiris, the Egyptian resurrection, he's called Seker Osiris, which he appears as a hawk-head mummy, sometimes standing upright and other times sitting. When seated, he holds in his hands a whip, a scepter, and a crook. The kingdom of Seker was the Twat, or the other world of Memphis. Now, this is very important. I'm going to read this to you, and I'll try to break this down to you, because we are dealing with stuff that we are upon. So the kingdom of Seker, this is the kingdom of Osiris. It says it was shrouded in darkness and was formed by bare, sandy deserts, which were full of terrifying monsters, some winged and many-headed. It says, prefixing the name Osiris of Seker indicates Osiris becomes an overlord of this very ancient god. So now, what it's saying here is this, that there is a desert of Osiris Seker. And in that particular desert is filled with monsters and sandy deserts, which were full of terrifying monsters and winged and many-headed. Now, it's interesting here, because in this particular book, The Devil, by Jeffrey Burton Russell, this is a hell of a book. This particular one here, Jeffrey Burton Russell book. I tell anybody, you scared of the devil, why did the dumbass Christians just go and study the devil? And sooner or later you read the shit and all you find out in actuality that there is no such thing in the particular aspect of the evil aspect. But they have this particular god, which is called Pazuzu. This is a statue in the Louvre in France, and this is the one that was in the movie The Exorcist. Pazuzu. They call it Bazuzu in The Exorcist, but it's Pazuzu, which is a real god, first of all. And it says Pazuzu, Mesopotamian, 2nd millennium BC, a horn taloned, winged, with a saturnine face, Mesopotamian demon. Pazuzu was the lord of the scorching north wind, a destructive manifested god No, excuse me. Let me. Sometimes I'll be in the spirit and I have to slow down. When the print gets small, I can't read it all. When I get in the spirit. Now, go back. Because obviously I had to read the shit, now I'm reading it to you. But anyway, okay. Pazuzu was the lord of the scorching north wind, a destructive manifestation of the God's power. And so that Tamsin wind I talked about, that was dead, no soldiers got up in there, this is a thing of Pazuzu, but it's the god of the desert. So now, Osiris, Seker, and Pazuzu, a desert god, is one and the same. A Memphis god. This is the stuff that we're going through at this particular time. And this is very interesting. Because, did you get this on the camera?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, now let me show you this. This is very interesting. Because I find this very interesting here. In the same book, this is Jeffrey Burton Russell's book on the devil. On the devil, which is an excellent book. You know, they have the picture of Lilith in here, which is the Hebrew form of Ishtah. Have the picture of Lilith, the Hebrew form of Ishtah. They even have Ishtah in here. They talk about her.
Hold up, man.
Okay, Lilith. Now I'm gonna show you this. What does that look like? I know you can't see it back there. Can you see this? You got it?
Yeah.
It is a picture of an Osiris figure with the same headdress of Osiris. The same headdress of Osiris. Can you see this? You see that's a, because this is kind of, I want to get this right.
I'll tell you, I had it when you were standing back there with it.
I want to get that here. It's got the same, what's that helmet, that thing that Osiris wears?
Yeah, the crown, you said?
The crown of Osiris. Yeah. Which is called the Hemmitt crown. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah.
H-E-M-E-T. Hemmitt crown of Osiris. I'm going to put that in low H-E-M-E-T. Hemmitt crown. It's got the crown of Osiris on this thing here, and it's sitting on the throne, and it says, Annette, a maiden sister of the fertility god Baal. Annette helped defend her brother against the assaults of the gods of sterility, Mot. But as with Hathor and Sekhmet, Annette's wrath could be turned into killing frenzy, capable of destroying the world and mankind. So here's an Osirian figure that ain't even a goddamn man. It's a woman, Annette. Annas. And they say compare this with Hathor and Sekhmet, the destruction of the world. You ever heard of that? The text, the destruction of mankind, with Hathor tries to destroy mankind at first, and then Sekhmet is getting ready to really do the job. They have to get Sekhmet drunk so she don't destroy mankind. Well, they're saying that this Annette figure is the same one. Her story is the same story, but it's got the crown of Osiris on. This is a doggone woman. Now, going back, this is all connected with what we're dealing with here in the Osiris Seker period that they talk about in the Sirius mystery, which is the part that we are in at this particular time, right now. The later passage suggests that the ancient awful god Seker, who sat enthroned in darkness in the bowels of the desert, in the desert west of Memphis, is the death god himself. This is talking about a devourer. All of this stuff, Osiris Seker, you can compare with Pazuzu up in this particular book This particular book, The Devil by Jeffrey Burton Russell, they even talk about Pazuzu in the Ancient Deities book. In the Ancient Deities book, they talk about the same Pazuzu entity. But we're talking about now the Osiris-Seker period. Is the reason why they went up into the whole desert thing. This very key at this particular time. Okay, now let's see here. Let's see here. Couple of things on the melanin thing. You still got the 3 glands in the head. The 3 blind mice that they talk about in mythology, or the 3 blind mice in the fairy tales, is also represented as the 3 glands in the head of the 3 glands in the head of the melanin in the head or in the brain. So when you hear the 3 blind mice, well, the blind mice, they talk about the blind Heru. Well, what is really the blind Heru? The Heru is called the face of God, which is the pineal gland, and they say it's blind because it means it's in the brain, and it does not see with these 2 eyes. It sees with a spiritual eye. That's why it also says that in the Sanskrit, that any man who's looking for the prize or looking for the kingdom of heaven will never see it with these 2 eyes. It is the inner spiritual eye that will see the kingdom of heaven. So the 3 blind mice also represents the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the pineal gland is also the 3 blind mice. Even George Clinton had a song, those 3 blind mice. You see what I'm saying? Always drop it. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's interesting here because Fanny mentioned this thing here, mentioned these books, and I'm gonna, what time you got? You got 15 minutes? Okay, well, I'm going to read this stuff off on the Kundalini. Then we're going to come back when I want to get into some stuff that Gardner was talking about. But,
actually, you got 12.
I got 12 minutes. Well, this is good. 12 minutes. In that case, then that was good. Any sister with the eloquent voice want to get up here and read these 10 aspects of the Kundalini? Anybody want to volunteer? Anybody want to volunteer?
Like this. You don't have to step up on the camera. He'll hand the book to you. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Anybody want to volunteer? Just read it out loud. Here, go ahead. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, we got the master up in here. You know, shoot. Read those 10 aspects of the Kundalini. No, you gonna read it? You want to read it?
Go ahead, sir. No, go ahead, sir.
See those 10 aspects? This is now the name of the book is what? Look at this. It's called what?
The Concealed Wisdom in World Mythology by Geoffrey Hudson.
Yeah, The Concealed Wisdom in World Mythology by Geoffrey Hudson. He has some other book, 3 volumes called The Hidden Wisdom of the Bible. Hidden Wisdom of the Bible. Those are still in print by Geoffrey Hudson. Now read those 10.
Okay, you want me to read the little preface here? Dangers of arousing nature's hidden forces.
Now just read the 10, because you know that's for white folks.
Okay, 1. Premature arousing of Kundalini with its disturbing effects. 2. Sex excitation. 3. Emotional disturbances due to incursions from the astral plane of forces and beings through the solar plexus onto the sympathetic nervous system, which does not readily rationalize and so becomes confused.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me see that again, hold on. This must be the page that they tell the white folks what can happen with the Kundalini arousal. Oh, okay. It said dangers. Oh, I flipped to the second page.
Okay.
I needed you to read the first page. That's for white folks. You ain't got to worry about that. Oh, you ain't got to worry about that. Your Kundalini been rising ever since you been going to church doing the Holy Ghost. Same shit. So read this one on page, These are, just read what the Kundalini suggests.
And read it a little louder too to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. 1. The power of life. 2. One of the forces of nature, the occult electricity intimately associated with Azoth of the alchemist. 3. the creative principle in nature, also akasa. 4, the subtle, supersensuous, spiritual essence which pervades all space. 5, the coiled up universal life principle. 6, a sevenfold superphysical occult power in universe and man, functioning in the latter by means of a spiral or coiling action, mainly in the spinal cord, but also throughout the nervous system. 7, it is represented in Greek symbology in the caduceus, the rod of Hermes, the 7-layered creative power in nature, and the base of the spine of the man. 8, when supernormally aroused, this fiery force ascends into the brain by a serpentine path, hence its other name, the serpent fire. 9, it is composed of 3 currents which flow along 3 channels in the spinal cord, named Ida, the negative, Pingala, positive, and Sushumna, neutral. Okay. These things are sometimes applied wrongly to the nerves themselves. Okay, it's only 9 here.
Yes, 9. Now,
Okay.
these are just trying to give you some indications about what we can do during the break. Is you can we can get somebody to go and copy these 9 attributes of what the Kundalini is. It goes on to say that the Kundalini, it says, under expert guidance and completely altruistic motives, the Kundalini is awakened. It divides itself into 3 currents. Positive currents intertwine with the spinal cord and enters the pituitary gland, while the negative currents oppositely intertwines the spinal cords and enters into the pineal gland. Which is interesting why all of a sudden the evil eye and all that stuff comes up in mythology. You see. And the what's this neutral current, ascends the sushuma and enters into the 3rd ventricle of the brain and passes into the crown of the head. So this is talking about how it actually comes up. Then they talk about the dangers of the arousal of that. But we know that has nothing to do with actually us, because for the mere fact that you are conscious means that your Kundalini is already at a certain level. Otherwise, you'd be running around here somewhere and all, saying that them niggas crazy, you know what I'm saying? And Jesus is the way, and you all going to hell and all this kind of thing here, or whatever the deal he is. So we already know that has something to do with it. Now, how much time we got? Because I got some very important stuff.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I don't think I can do this in 5 minutes, but in 5 minutes and stuff. So let me, because I have some very important information.
Well, I'll tell you, why don't you take questions? Because when we take a break, everybody's going to hit you with questions anyway.
Right, okay.
So you
just take a question, because like I said, I'm just on page 2. Page 2 of the lecture for the day, and I got still 4 more pages from last night. So give me some questions right quick. Give me some questions right quick. Anybody got any questions about anything? What's that?
I'm confused. The white people, how do they fit in with the gods? Because gods
It's an excellent question. It's an excellent question. These entities, the ones that the family fight, found an excellent way that they could retard our progress. They actually work with white folks to keep us back so that they can extend their time in heaven. See, when you really get into some stuff, and this is one of the only books that's honest enough to explain it on that level, the Gnostic stuff, but this book, The Evil in Hindu Mythology, this woman was able to go in and break down the structures of the gods in the heavens, and whether it's Hindu, African, or whatever, still the same entities, and show that in actuality that these particular entities, or these particular gods, are against us. Well, it would stand to reason all the hell we've been catching, and white people live good. And people all the time. And bad things happen to good-ass black people every time. Do you think about it? We haven't had no brother and sister that even in the entertainment or the sports or that made entertainment or the arts or the sports that hadn't fallen to either scandal or death. They done got everybody. James Brown was even locked up in jail in the first of the 90s. You see what I'm saying? You name somebody and I'll guarantee you it's either some scandal or something. Dr. J, they killed his son. You see what I'm saying? It's always some shit. So obviously there's somebody that's trying to retard our progress. And so these particular entities that's called the demiurge that I've been talking about for years, the demiurge, you get that in the Gnostic material, those particular entities in the demiurge and stuff like that, white folks, they help white people so that they can hold us back. To somehow retard the process, our process, so that we won't rise up and replace them. And that's what she goes as far as to say that they'll give you a disease so that you can turn around and worship them, because when you worship them, you give your melanin and your energy to them, and that makes them stronger. So she's saying that man is the dupe. It's a cosmic trick, a joke. And we give all our energy to these damn fools. That's why I was saying that you need to start, if it ain't about connecting to yourself, because all these entities that I'm talking about here, they are nothing but components inside of you. That's the first thing you need to know. And you need to be commanding them to help you. Other, you know what I'm saying? Other than thinking they're out here in the sky. They are inside of you, the inner world entities. You see what I'm saying? But I gave you that Christ thing so you can line up the shit yourself. But that's what this thing is about now. You know, until we say, I'm going to do it myself. It was like that movie, A Major League. What's that Major League? No, the movie with minor league or something like that.
You talking about with a Wesley Snipes and them playing baseball?
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes and all, and had the black guy.
The fan?
And he was worshiping this voodoo god. And the voodoo god, he was always striking out. He'd come up in there and say, fuck you. And as soon as he said, fuck you, that's called blasphemy of the God. That's in the Mahabharata. When they would blaspheme against the God, that's when all the energy would come. You free now. You giving all your energy to him. He said, fuck you, and they went out and started hitting the home runs. That's called blasphemy of the God. That's the whole Mahabharata war. So when you blaspheme and say, fuck you, I'm letting you go. It's just like your mama and them. You got to get cut off from the titty. You know, when your mama and them cut you off from the titty, it's time you can fend for yourself. And you're only retarded or stunted when you stay on the titty. Well, it's the same thing with these fucking gods. You got to get cut off from the titty. It's a lonely process because you ain't got nobody to pray to. So I command these motherfuckers. I'm like, look, you motherfuckers better get on it. You see what I'm saying? And it's not a disrespect. It's your own body. It's by you going through this hell, you earn the right to be the general. Because you went through the most hell. And that's how you are the perfecting agent for these entities. These entities can only work if you call them their name, so they live through you. And when they function and doing all these earthquakes and killing white people because you don't haphazardly invoke them, you know what I'm saying? Done caught cramping your ass the wrong way, and somebody died on the other side of the world. And you just ain't figured it out yet, it's you that did that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how these effects happen until you understand. You know what I'm saying? You might fart the wrong way. You see what I'm saying? And some thunder done happened in goddamn Missouri. Serious business. But if you don't feel it's connected to you, you haphazardly doing it. You know what I'm saying? Until you find out that the power is with you. So yeah, those gods was working with them. As a matter of fact, leg bonding was over slavery. That's what a lot of people in Louisiana tell you. Yeah, how do they know? They just get it from the spirit. You see what I'm saying? Give me some more questions right quick. We going.
I wanted to say, there's a tape that you did. I think the one in Carolinas where you explain all that. I don't know the name of it. I'll get your number.
Yeah. So I had to stop depending on them And it's now. When I was talking about yesterday, Shiva, the erotic ascetic, and when Shiva, when he gets mad, he burns up stuff, and the stuff start working with his third eye. Well, that's how it goes. Whenever you get pissed, you mad now. You ain't depending on nobody. You ever got mad and the shit just feel good? Until you depressed and say, cool down. Okay, I agree. Then you get mad because you can't fuss. The motherfucker say, goddamn, I'm a nobody, I'm shit. I'm nobody, I'm shit, I'm nothing. I done told you I'm wrong. And you mad because you just goddamn, I done got up all this damn energy, I need to burn it off. I would rather you be arguing with me so we can go to battle. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that, so I can call you old nappy head bitch or something, you know. I gotta get all this stuff up out of me. But shit just say, no. I'm sorry. I done told you, and you be like, damn. Shit, I feel bad now. Because you didn't want the battle. That's that energy. You trying to release it. So that's you going beyond, you see what I'm saying? Buying down and stuff. And so what's happening here is you your own ball of fire. You see? And so that's how that whole thing going. Give me some more questions right quick.
Now, why are we going to take that break now?
How long you got?
It's flashing. I only got about 2 minutes.
Okay, well, we're going to take the break. We're going to come back. We're going to get into the damn lecture. White people have people step to them and will tell them that basically, especially when it comes to people like major movie stars, they know the importance of their image being on a deity-like level that can live on as immortals, being that they remain great in the eyes of the people and for the future. So they will tell those particular people, look, it's time for you to retire. Get your ass up out of here before you become disgusting and a disgrace and undo all the great work you did. And that's how the image machine works. So you'll see white people, when they say they dead, hell, you be like, damn, I thought they died 20 years ago. Like Captain Helper. Betty Davis, when she died, I'm like, shit, I thought she died 10 years ago. Jimmy Stewart, they get out of the public eye. They get out of the public eye. You know, and stuff like that and all. And that's a form of science. That's a form of science. You know, this is what to do, just like Reagan. Reagan been brain dead for damn near 10 years. You ain't seen him since the day he left the office. And that way, his image should live on forever. So somebody needs to, on 4th of July, at the mall in Washington, D.C. And my God, this woman looked like the fucking Liberty Bell. Now that's fine if she was a heavy-set woman from the beginning. But that's something when you used to be fine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, she was big. She's about 400 pounds. Yeah. I mean, my goodness, she's like 400 pounds. She's like a sumo wrestler. And I'm looking at here, all and she's sitting up there singing. I'm saying, you are undoing all of your greatness. You look like a joke, man. And she gonna got the nerve to sing the song Respect. Are you crazy? But I'm trying to figure out the sickness here on why people don't step to them and go, look here, you can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But they'll just get right out there. She's 400 fucking pounds now. Hell, Della Reese is skinny now.
Number 2 have never been enough for bad.
No, she always looks good. But I'm just saying, this is ridiculous. You know? They need a tribunal to step to her and say, look, we have made up our fucking mind. You need to get your ass up off the damn street. Next time we see you out here, we gonna shoot you in your butt.
They give her a lot of exposure here too when they have certain things.
Yeah, and they don't understand the only reason why they invited her to sing at the mall because she's a goddamn Miss Piggy.
Yeah, that's right. They put on all the time.
You know, did anybody see this thing? Then she had the nerve to have a hairpiece that was orange and it was like a fucking fez. Like a Roy's fez. Titties out to here, you can set the fucking I said, it wasn't supposed to be 4th of July, it's supposed to be Macy's Day Parade. You supposed to be thinking they're supposed to be hooking some cables up your monkey ass. And flying your ass, you got the wrong fucking holiday. Your ass needs to be goddamn down Macy's Day Parade behind Underdog and shit. Like, this is ridiculous.
Is that okay?
What do you think? Yeah.
Maybe they need some money.
I mean,
Is it true? Is it true?
somebody was talking about a council of elders. Somebody had a good idea back in 91. So people to come up, they said we needed a national black council of conscious elders, not for the dummies out here, but for the conscious people. And those elders don't necessarily have to be an age, although it can be. We can need some a certain age, but even the ones that's conscious, they needed a council of elders to make decisions for stupid ass people out here. That's what they had in Africa. You know, you need a council of elders to say, look here, because that's the kind of shit that we used to have in the black community in segregation. When they said the people come from Mississippi, they go to Chicago, they work in them hog factories and all kind of crazy stuff. But they said that at 8 o'clock at night, you didn't dare hit the ground without a suit of clothes on, they used to call it. Everybody used to be clean. And they built a self-esteem. We use fashion to pull ourselves up out of degradation. And self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to say, but you know, you have people that you have to answer to in the community. To say, no, you can't be doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? But see, we freelancing now because the community is no more, so we all out here, and white people pat us on our back saying you can look like the fool. You know what I'm saying? You can look like the fool. So I'm trying to say, this is, and when I was talking to Kimberly about it, I said, Kimberly, you got to turn on fucking PBS right now and see this shit here. And I said, you know, and it was the day that, it was the same day, it was New Year's, 4th of July, and Barry White had just died. And I said, you know, is it any of our icons that don't fall to either shame, scandal, or death? I said, now here it is, the man just died, and here I'm looking at the Queen of Soul up here. And I know that white people are looking and going, and black, and you can't help it. She's singing, and the only thing on their mind, gosh, she is big as shit. That's right. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is some crazy stuff that's going on.
You know, it just points to our continued slavery, that's all.
It's continued slavery, but like somebody came up with the in 91, we met in Atlanta, and someone came up with the concept of we need an American Council of Elders. We made it so that it could be anybody, because they said, well, we'll take into consideration if somebody has a certain amount of knowledge in this day and age based on people who don't have knowledge, that would also consider a person to be an elder. But then again, on the other hand, the Council of Elders is supposed to be someone that's supposed to be a senior citizen also, too. So you needed a combination of both. But a national black council of elders. And so therefore, because you know our people, we know we had to answer to somebody, and not necessarily, so a lot of times it ain't about military control or police. If you had to answer to somebody, you know what I'm saying, in shame, you would think twice about doing stuff like that. You know, you think twice about doing stuff like that. You see. Now, keep in mind that when they gave this affirmative action decision, first of all, they want to kill this O'Connor. Now, it's amazing here now. The O'Connor had a swing vote for the affirmative action decision. She go to a college on 4th of July, and they got some kind of 4th of July celebration, and the next thing they know, a wooden beam fall down over her head and barely miss her. And I'm like, that didn't fall down. Now, come on. It just didn't fall down by mistake. It injured two people and it barely missed her. They were sending that cracker a message. We will kill you. You see what I'm saying? Because she had a swing vote. And some of they was hurt because Justice O'Connor was one of the conservative people on the vote. They said that we can depend on her. So she had a swing vote. You see what I'm saying? So the next thing they know, The affirmative action bill passed, and there's a reason why they had to pass the affirmative action bill. They had to pass the affirmative action bill because we're contract slaves of the United States.
That's right.
And they got to give us something.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into this in a few minutes, so hold on to that. So there's a reason behind that, the affirmative action bill. But the key here is, they tried to kill her ass. Sent her a message. They took a big old beam, a big old wood. She was on the stage, and it fell down. This was a week after she did that swing vote. I ain't stupid. These crackers don't be playing.
You should have had a beam to fall on Clarence Thomas.
Well, naturally, but I mean,
Clarence is their boy.
Yeah, Clarence they boy.
We should have had a beam.
Oh yeah. But like I said, here it is. So the next thing I know, they sent her a message. They saying we wasn't gonna tolerate this thing. But what she don't realize is, what they don't realize is they got to give the people affirmative action vote. Very key, very critical. What I'm gonna get into in a few minutes. In a few minutes. But I wanted to reiterate this thing here that they pick these people in their pathetic state. And when they become in their pathetic state, black people, that's the ones they will show on the camera the most. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the ones who will get all the roles and do stuff like that. I mean, the other year she wasn't 300. She had a small bottom and small top. She had a big old stomach in one of these old ball gowns. But this she doesn't feel like a mother now. You know what I'm saying? She ready to goddamn blow up, run a linebacker for the fucking Baltimore Colts on your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. Because I know that they didn't invite her to the mall. Because it's an American thing. Usually they have Willie Nelson and all these crackers up there. They didn't invite her to that mall. Because they wanted her to be a part of the, take place into this American process. They invited her to that mall so that they can embarrass her. And they did just that. The whole nation you see, saw her like that now. It's really sad now. It's really sad. But like I said, them white folks, when they retire, that's it. So you dare not ask them to come to no mall or no kind of shit like that now. Their skin all falling off. They ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? They're not coming. But so this is the science on how they do things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just amazing.
You don't even see Bob Hope no more.
Yeah, keep hope alive. He 100, Bob Hope 100. Keep hope alive. And he rolling. You see. So this is it's just amazing. But I just saying, it still got it going on. So, anyway, going right on, I told you yesterday that be on the lookout for black cats or gray cats with white feet. Black kittens or gray kittens with white feet. Be on the lookout for those with white feet. During the summer solstice, which was the 21st of June, my brother had this little kitten show up at his back door and would not leave. This is when you know it's spiritual. You see these kittens or something, they show up in your yard or whatever, and you try to feed them and they won't take food. That's when you know that they're spirit kittens. So the kitten was a black kitten with white feet. Showed up in his yard. Wouldn't take no food. It ate on the third day. It ate on the third day. I went to take this sister to Greyhound. She's catching a bus to Charlotte. And And we're up in the Greyhound station. And a sister comes in from Oakland, California. She said, yeah, I just got on the bus and came to Atlanta just to check it out from Oakland. And from Oakland, and she said, just to check it out. And she said, I was up in the hotel room. She said, what do you know about cats? Now, my brother, his little boy had the kitten in his hand when we was going to the Greyhound bus station to take this sister to Charlotte. She said, well, what do you know about kittens? And I saw about the ancient Hemmitt believe, ancient combatants say that, you know, that they could communicate with their ancestors, through kittens and different things like that. For some reason, they say cats are very psychic. I don't know how you do it, but the Egyptians used to do it. And used to do it. So anyway, I talked about that. So she said, well, it's interesting. She said, because it was a black kitten that showed up at my hotel door and would not go away. So I let him in, and he stayed in the hotel room with me for 3 days. And I'm looking at the sister that was from Charlotte, and looking at her, and she's like, I'm like, didn't we just see a black kitten in my brother's car with the little boy, and it had white feet? And she said hers had white feet. And I'm saying, that's interesting. So she said, so she took it up on the to the 14th floor, because that's one of her lucky numbers, and she let it go after she left. So so what happened was, I said that so I said, well, let me call some people. Let me call my hotline and see what was up. So the sister Kimberly said, well, the spirit is getting those cats manifested. They weren't born. They manifested from one dimension to the other. And they're spirit kittens, and basically what they're doing is they're trying to show you that the spirit world is now back and it is manifesting, and so they're sending these little messages in these little kittens. Okay, that night, a sister from Pittsburgh called, and I was telling her about the spirit kitten. She said, it's interesting you say that. She said that my 2 children begged me to get some cats, and I was going to go and buy some, and just then 2 little girls knocked on the door and said, you want 2 kittens? And it was 2 gray kittens with white feet. With white feet. And she said, and one of these cats is just all around me, and I know it's a connection. So I called her sister Deborah, and I said, well, be on the lookout for kittens with white feet. And she said, it's interesting you say that. She said, because I just got a reading from this lady named Ruthie, and Ruthie was telling her, what is this about a cat with white feet around you? She said, well, little white mittens. She said, well, I know there's a black cat with white feet in the neighborhood. She said, no, this is one that is directly related to you. Directly related to you. So I'm telling my brother that later on that day about the cats, and I walked to the front door, and there's a cat sitting there just listening to my conversation. A gray cat, a bigger cat. And I said, hey, there's a big gray cat listening to my conversation. And he said, well, it's interesting you say that. He said, well, I just walked in the door, and there's a big gray cat staring me in the face. So when they were saying about the message, there's a book called Demonic Reality. The guy named is Patrick Harper. Patrick Harper. Demonic Reality. And it's talking about encounters with other worlds. And it's talking about how Damians, what we get now is just a word that was turned into something evil, but the Damians were the messengers of the energies from the other realm and stuff. And there's a whole book on this thing. Patrick Harper book, The Demonic Reality. And in that book, he explains that the cats of this world, or the kittens of this world, and Black Panthers of this world, is the Anubises and black dogs in the other world. They go into all of that type of stuff in the particular book. So when she said that, I said, that's very interesting, that I could actually find the actual book and deal with it. So I'm just trying to say, be aware of kittens and cats, you see. And a lot of them might not necessarily be just stray cats and stuff that's just hanging around. Like, take for instance, in 2000 was going to this election, was some funny stuff going on at the election. A lot of government agents and stuff. It was like a conference and different things that was going on. And Collett was there, and he was getting ready to start some shit to sabotage the election and stuff like that and all. And so there was a black dog that was standing up, was on the front porch of him. Beautiful black dog. And Ginger was still with me at the time, and Ginger said, it's interesting, that dog is on the front porch. And we fed him, and he acted like he never ate anything in his life. She said, well, I saw that dog this morning dead on the side of the street when I was jogging. So we know that they can send back these. So when she said that these cats manifested from the other world, Sister Kimberly, it was interesting because the same black cat showed up at my other brother's house, and he lives 15 miles away. Showed up in his garage. You know, so they was trying to figure out how did the cat get from one house 15 miles away there, and the only explanation was he had it manifested. You see, had it manifested. So these are messengers and stuff that's actually that's actually going down at this particular time. The last time I was here, what's the sister that brought the Kabbalah stuff?
Alice Brown.
Alice Brown. She was here. She gave me this piece of paper. She gave me this this article of how they have built the city of Nashville after ancient Atlantis, ancient Greece, and a whole lot of other stuff. They built the city of Nashville, and it was interesting. It was interesting because she said they have the statue of the Athena down there. This is how the Spirit is working things out as far as Athena. So they have a statue of Athena, which is interesting here because when we she gave me this particular picture, and they have the biggest statue of Athena in the world in Nashville. Now, come to find out that Athena is an African deity. She comes from Libya, and she's imported into Greece. But even the Greeks knew, and she is the chief patron of their laws and justice and everything else. Athens. And she comes from Libya, so she's an African deity. And the story of Athena is Athena, Zeus had a headache. And he had somebody to split his head open, and Athena jumped up fully born. But Zeus had eaten her mother or something like that. And Athena jumped up as a full-grown woman, which also represents, coming out of the head of Zeus, it also represents the pineal gland. The pineal gland. What's that, huh?
She come out as a warrior.
Yeah, she's a warrior.
Came out of his head as a warrior.
As a warrior. Warrior deity. In so many words, Athena, if you see, what we're trying to do here is, you can't go in one discipline. Let's say if you say, I'm going to study only Egypt. You're going to fall short because Egypt is in fragments. So you say, I want to learn about Maya. And after you read a little bit of stuff in the books and all the other stuff, you come together. You go, damn, I need to know more. It's got to be more than this on Maya. So what you have to do is you have to cross-reference. In this particular case, if you want to know more about the Mayatian principle and Maya at this particular time, in this Mayatian cycle, you got to read stuff on the goddess Athena. And why is it that they built Athens behind her, and the Parthenon has the actual columns is her statues, is her statue, and all of this type of stuff of an African deity from Libya. You see? So and in Rome they worship her as Minerva. You see, as Minerva. You see, and which is ironic that the people are based on the Greek societies that black people found themselves in the last 100 years or last 90-something years. The Delta Sigma Theta, the Delta Sigma Theta of the Greek society worships Minerva. And here is Minerva. And Athena, see, stuff is already, the Spirit is always working, even though a nigga is ignorant. You see what I'm saying? But they did, but all of them say that they, all of them say that they did a lot of before those Greek societies were, before the inception of them, they did a work and tried to fuse it in with some stuff back in Africa too, also too. Not necessarily giving credence to them handkerchief head Negroes, but some of the original members and stuff trying to make it Africanized, because you know, even the word, the Kappa Alpha Psi, the Nupes, is named after some African tribe called the Nupe tribe. So in all of them tell you they can trace it back to something that they incorporated with both Greek and Africa. But Minerva is Athena, and Athena is nothing but Maya. Whenever you go to the Lord, whenever you go to the Supreme Court and you see a woman sitting there with the blindfold and the two scales, that's Athena. But we know that that's Maya. So the key is to extend the Mayatean principle. You need to study Athena. You see, and this is how the science goes. You see, this is how the science goes. You know what I'm saying? To extend stuff. So there's two books out. Actually, there's one called Athena, a Biography is the name of it. And this one is called Athena, the Image and Imagery, by Anne Scherer, Chearer. And Chearer. This one has much more detailed information. I would prefer you get both. The one called Athena, a biography, because they I can't think of the person's name, but they do they harp on her being an active deity in that book.
I have something interesting to say. I want to see all that down in Tennessee.
In Tennessee, right?
Yeah, but when you go to the gift shop, and they've got this whole museum is this Athena thing. Plus they've got griffins. It used to be a secret society where the secret society could go in. Okay. It was never open to the public.
Okay.
But they have a little gift shop, and everything in there you can pick up. You can buy cards, statues, blah, blue, everything. But it's all Athena or part of that. It was only one card, and it was so strange to me. I said, let's look at this. They had one group of cards with Aretha Franklin.
With Aretha Franklin?
That's it. Everything else was Athena from the top to the bottom. Aretha was kind of, I bought one of the cards.
Well, wait a minute. Now, what is that doing? Aretha, because, you know, they automatically invoke her in a lot of white songs. The group Street Politi came out in 1985, had a song called Sing Like Aretha. The group Steely Dan says she don't remember Aretha Franklin. She don't remember the Queen of Soul, K-19. You see what I'm saying? So they always invoke her because this is some type of archetype. Well, let's see if there's anything in here on Aretha. Arethusa, Greek, is the daughter, let's see, known as Aretha. Here you go. Goddamn, come on now.